Hey guys, so following last time I spoke to you guys, we finished Act 5, which was pretty cool act, and now we are moving to Act 6 of the game. Now, as I mentioned in the last video before, I was a little bit surprised that the 6th act of the game was actually the first act of the game all over again. But once I got a little bit more deep into Act 6 of the game, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. Honestly, at first I thought it was gonna be just too repetitive and too much of the same, but honestly there was quite a little bit of difference. Yeah, there were a few quests that were the same pretty much, the Ascendancy quest that was the same pretty much. But all in all, it was pretty decent, I enjoyed it. As you can see, I made my way into the mods, just like in the Act 1, but the mods themselves were a little bit different monsters, different NPCs. There were some things to explode and items to get. I needed to find some sort of a key to open this door. Once I did that, I made my way through this area. I encountered my first boss of the Act 6, which honestly, he wasn't that difficult or anything. I mean, he was a little bit more difficult, I have to say. Compared to the last few acts where the bosses just felt like they're melting, this was a little bit more strong. Not too difficult or anything though. And I received my first Pantheon. I don't know how much important it is later down the road. For now, it just feels like a little tiny bonus, but you know, little tiny bonus is much better than nothing. After that, I made my way back into the prison where I was in the Act 1, but again, monsters were different and they were quite a little bit more stronger. Here I encountered the first Ascendancy quest once again. Ascendancy quest, I have to say, they are a little bit disappointing in a way, I guess, because they're just pretty much the same, like there's just no difference at all. Not that I am sure what exactly they could do different, but you know, they could maybe something, I don't know. But yeah, once I did, I found this guy again that gives me sulfite. I collected both sulfites, then I had to make like maybe 4 or 5 layers of the dungeons to get the last one, and then I had to make a few more layers and I made my way to the rooftop where I found the second boss of this act. Again, this guy wasn't exactly super strong or anything, he was maybe a little bit more stronger than like the acts before. But I guess you would expect that. I mean, they have to become a little bit more stronger. Once I defeated him, I spoke to Senna and I made my way out of here. I made my way back into the prison and then Prison's Gate, and I made my way out of the prison, just like in the Act 1. So it's kind of similar, but not exactly the same. I quickly made my way into the city, I took my reward, and after that I made my way into the Rogue Harbor. Here in this area I wasn't exactly sure what to expect, but actually this was quite fun. We were doing a heist or something, I guess, and that was actually pretty fun, I have to say. This heist had a lot of items and everything, like it was pretty worth to do. And it wasn't that difficult or anything, it was pretty fun as well. We were picklocking chests and vaults, and at the end we had this big vault to picklock, and in that vault we found the item that the customer required us to take care of, and as soon as we got that item, a whole bunch of security started to come our way, which was pretty fun. I mean, honestly, all this security was almost more difficult than the bosses itself that I encountered in the other dungeons. I tried to picklock more chests, but unfortunately those were already sealed, so nothing that we could take anymore. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. Once we cleared it, we made our way up, and after that I went and took my reward from this dungeon. Honestly, this was fun, like I really enjoyed this. This was even more fun than the mines. I don't know which one is more useful to do, at least this one for me was a little bit more fun. I enjoyed this heist type of thing, it was fun. But yeah, anyway, after that I made my way back into the open area. Yeah, I found this mermaid again, she told me to do some other stuff for her, but before that I went to this other area and I defeated this other boss. Again, I would like to say that this was a challenge, but not really. This one was pretty easy, to be honest. It's just I was a little bit confused and waiting for him to appear when he was actually in the other area. That was a little bit confusing, but he did drop this belt, which is pretty cool. And once I talked to Sin, he opened me my second Pantheon. While this belt was nothing crazy, but it was better than what I had right now, so I decided to use it. I also found this gold amulet which had 75% gold resistance, which is insane a lot, but at the same time it's only 1 resistance, so not really that useful for me right now since I have everything else at 75. Maybe once I find some more gear that has huge single resistances on them as well, it's gonna be useful. But as of this moment, it's not really, so I just put it in the bag for now. We're gonna keep it there, who knows, it might become useful in the future. After that, my old friend appeared. We went beast hunting. As always, we killed 5 beasts and he disappeared and I moved on my way. From there onwards, I made my way into this other dungeon. Here I needed to defeat another boss, and yet once again, it was a little bit confusing because I was waiting for him to appear, but actually I needed to go around this area and kill these little statues statues, or whatever you wanna call them, I guess. And once I killed these statues, I went back to the middle of this dungeon, and that's when the boss actually appeared. And as much as I would like to say that the boss didn't disappoint, this one was the most disappointing of them all. He just melted. Not that there's any big issue with that, but you know, could be a little bit more fun. I got another Pantheon, and now I also got a second socket for my jewels. And after that I made my way into this cave. Here in this cave I found the black flag, and I also found this mermaid again. She told me to use this black flag as a beacon, so I needed to make my way out of these caves. Before that I killed one more boss. More of a mini boss you could say, but still a boss nonetheless. Once I made my way out of these caves, I went through this beach, which was quite huge, so it took me a little bit of time to find the area I needed to be. Once I did, I needed to do this like a mini puzzle or something you could say. I mean, I wouldn't call this a puzzle, but you know, not exactly any fighting stuff either, so I guess let's say mini puzzle. Once I did the mini puzzle, I went to the top of this area, I put the flag into the fire, and the red light appeared, and this guy also appeared, and he sailed me to this other area. In this other area, I skilled up a little bit. Once I skilled up, I killed a little bit of mobs, and one of these mobs dropped this actually quite nice ring. I will show you later on what it does, but before that, I went into the boss room, and I faced the final boss of Act 6. Now, even though he wasn't super duper strong, but he did give me a little bit of a challenge. But more importantly, he was actually quite fun. I enjoyed him. He felt quite unique to the other bosses, except the Colossus one, of course. That one was the most awesome so far. But he had this cool area around him with water raising and everything. I was trapped in this water circle, and it was really fun. I enjoyed him. I took care of him quite fast, but it was really enjoyable. I enjoyed the fight with him. Unfortunately, even though he dropped a lot of stuff, but nothing interesting, but he did give me another Pantheon, which was actually a bigger icon, so as far as I understand, it's like a better Pantheon than others, probably. And after that, I just sailed and I made my way into the city of Act 7. And I thought that the city of Act 7 is gonna be just like the city of Act 2, but it wasn't. It was something similar to it, don't get me wrong, like similar design and everything, but it wasn't the same. It's not the same, no. Yeah, and this was my journey through Act 6. I have to say, I thought it was gonna be quite repetitive, but it wasn't. It was some sort of like a mixture between Act 1 and Act 2, with different mobs, but kind of the same, with a lot more bosses and stuff. I don't know, it was like a mixture of everything, but I enjoyed this mixture. It was fun. I liked the last boss of this Act 6. He was fun, I liked him, I have no complaints, even though he didn't give me too much of a challenge, but I liked him, he was fun. And yeah, I enjoyed Act 6 more than I thought I'm going to, because I thought it was gonna be really repetitive, but it wasn't, it was fun. And I hope that Act 7 and Acts after that gonna be just as interesting. The only like disappointment for me was the Ascendancy, because it was exactly the same. I don't know what else they could have done with it, but you know, maybe something, I don't know. Anyway, these are my items right now. I would say the three biggest upgrades for now are one of the vans that is on the right. As you can see, it has a whopping 93% spell damage increase, which is insane. I haven't seen anything better than that, so I don't know how good it is later, but right now it feels like it is insane. It has a lot of spell damage increase. Also, this belt, even though it's not a huge upgrade, it's not like that crazy good for me, but it's better than what I had. And also this ring that has a socket in it, and also has +2 levels to the skill. Before that, on Act 6, I used Eternal Blessing for my wrath, so I wouldn't have any mana reservation. But now this ring gives me that, so I don't need that anymore. The unfortunate side is that any other skill that I use with mana reservation now takes 80% more. But the thing is, I'm not using them anyway, I'm only using wrath, so that's okay. And +2 level skill to the wrath is actually pretty useful. And from what I heard and what you guys told me, level skills in this game are actually pretty OP. This seems to be like a good ring to me. I don't know, you let me know. I also have these things, like a whole bunch of cards and everything. I don't know what they do. Can you guys tell me? Because I really don't know. I don't know what to do with them. I also received this unique flask, which granted looks very cool, but I don't really know what it does. I don't know what onslaught means. It's very short, and I don't know, like in this couple seconds, does it make any difference to me? I don't know. Also, if you could let me know, that would be amazing. But yeah, this is my progression so far. So far, so good. I enjoy it. No complaints yet. And yeah, guys, as always, I appreciate you watching all the way to the end. You know the drill. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe, like, comment for the algorithm, and I will appreciate your help every step of the way. Thank you, and I'll see you in the Act 7 of the game. Bye bye.